Welcome to Your Daily Scrum, the daily show about helping you get a little bit better each and every day with your Scrum practices. I'm professional Scrum trainer Ryan Ripley. This gentleman over here is professional Scrum trainer Todd Miller. We are the co-authors of Fixing Your Scrum, Practical Solutions to Common Scrum Problems. We teach a ton of Scrum courses all across the interwebs. Check out the description below to learn more. Like and subscribe so that you know when we post new shows and episodes and all sorts of live content that's been popping up lately. You don't want to miss a thing, so like and hit that bell so you know when new things are happening. All right, Todd, we got a question today that came in from our comments, so be sure to leave comments below. Throw your questions in that comment area, and it will probably turn into a video sometime soon. Today's question from one of our awesome listeners: what is the biggest flaw in Scrum? What do you think?
I've got some thoughts on this. So I think one of the biggest flaws is that Scrum is fairly easy to understand. This is a quote from something. I don't know the reference, but Scrum is easy to understand, but it's hard to implement.
Sure.
Right. A lot of the times Scrum will point out your organization's or your situation's biggest flaws, and you have to deal with them and cope with them. And I think the failure to adapt interferes with your ability to actually do Scrum as the framework asks you to do it. So that's my first take on it. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I think the biggest flaw in Scrum kind of relates to yours. It's simplicity, right? Mm-hmm. I think so many people read into the framework and they make up their own version of the framework and they start doing things that aren't Scrum, but they say it's Scrum, and then they get mad at Scrum. And I think it's just its biggest flaw is that it is so easy to misunderstand and represent. And I'm not sure how you guard against that. You know, it's a 13-page guide. You know, maybe it could be a page shorter. I don't know. I think they've done a great job of keeping the length and the simplicity there, but that leads to, unfortunately, a lot of misunderstandings that, I mean, in a sense, it's good because it gives us a job. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the biggest flaws is just so easy it is to misrepresent. And then, you know, you get this, well, I hate story points. Well, guess what? Story points are not a part of Scrum. Stop doing it. Mm-hmm. What? No. And so you just get these weird discussions like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's the first one that I would think of. What do you think?
Yeah, so it's interesting because you just kind of hit on another thought that I had around this. I was leaning back far away from a microphone. Now I'm back. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, good microphone technique there, Todd. Hey, can you still hear me?
I was relaxing, you know. Does
this work?
If you want to sound like a ghost.
There you go.
So
I may as well just give you a tin can.
Yeah, that's right. Our next episode of Your Daily Scrum is going to be a tin can on the end with a rope from here, Pennsylvania, to Indiana.
There you go.
Okay, kidding aside. You mentioned this idea behind story points. They're complementary to Scrum. Burn down charts, complementary to Scrum. Poker planning, complementary to Scrum. All these things. Roadmaps, complementary to Scrum. All these things that are complementary to Scrum. And I think that may be its biggest flaw is its biggest strength, right? Yep. I can't tell you how many times people ask you and I what a best practice for any given situation is. And the reality of it is there aren't. You sometimes need to invent your own practice to cope with the context of the situation you're dealing in. The Scrum Framework was built for the complex domain of work where you don't know what you don't know. And if you bring best practices into that, you could end up hurting yourself in the end, right? And so I would say its biggest strength could be its biggest weakness, and it's just coping with uncertainty. So I don't want to even say that it's a flaw. I think it's just the flaw of dealing with an uncertain, complex situation, right, is that we don't know what we don't know. Scrum is very useful and built for that kind of situation, but people expect certainty in it, and we're dealing with an uncertain world.
Yeah, as far as the actual framework goes, and Todd, I tend to agree with you on this. It's some of the outside stuff, but as far as the framework goes, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the framework. I love the accountabilities. I think Scrum Guide 2020 cleaned up a lot of language, and I think it's in its best shape it's ever been in. It's 13 pages. Like, they actually cut pages and they made things more concise. And the language around an increment is just wonderful. And yeah,
definition of done.
Yes, definition of done is great. I love the framework. I think it's the flaws are some things around it, but not within it. And so, but yeah, I am curious though, Todd, what our listeners are thinking.
Of course.
What would you change about Scrum? What do you think are some of its flaws? What have we missed? It's very possible that we're just rose-colored glasses and we've just been in it too deep. And so help us out. Let us know in the comments what you think could be different, or maybe you love it as it is, like we do, and let us know about that as well. What other questions has this sparked, right? Let us know in the comments. We love taking your questions. And that will probably end up turning into new videos. So Don't be shy. Let us know what you're thinking. All right, end screen time. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you know when we release new content. Check out the socials. Lots of good stuff out there. Watch the videos below. Don't forget to check out the description area to see all about our book, Fixing Your Scrum, and upcoming courses so that you can learn alongside Todd and I. But yeah, let us know what you think. We love your comments. As for today, we hope you go forth and do great Scrum things. Ship some value, help your teams, coach the organization, and see your Scrum practices grow. For Todd Miller, I'm Ryan Ripley. We will see you tomorrow.
See you.